Did you know that at its peak in the US in the early 1990s, AIDS was the leading cause of death for Americans aged 25 to 44? And last year, in 2024, there were 40 million people still living with HIV, and over half were women and girls. Today is World AIDS Day, which is a day where countries around the world come together to honor the lives lost to AIDS-related illnesses and recommit to ending the HIV epidemic that still persists. But this year, the Trump administration has said that as a country, we will no longer be recognizing that day, going against a tradition we've observed for 36 years. But we can still recognize and observe it together. Globally, AIDS-related illnesses have killed roughly 40 million people, but thankfully for decades, scientific research, public health programs, and community activism have driven enormous progress. Medical advancements in antiretroviral therapy turned HIV from a fatal diagnosis into a manageable chronic condition. Prevention tools dramatically cut new infections, and programs like PEPFAR, a global AIDS relief program launched by President Bush, are credited with saving over 25 million lives. From these efforts in the last few decades, AIDS-related deaths have fallen nearly 70%, and new HIV infections have dropped by more than 70% globally. That's why World AIDS Day is important. It's a moment of accountability and awareness. And it's not just canceling observance today. This year, this administration froze all HIV foreign aid for a period of time, which shut down clinics and led to thousands of staff having to be let go. They also dissolved USAID, which carried out most of PEPFAR's work, and they canceled more than 70% of global HIV program grants, including programs for treatment, prevention, and support for vulnerable children. Experts say these cuts could jeopardize the health of more than 20 million people worldwide, including 500,000 children, which is unconscionable. Because while we've made incredible progress in HIV and AIDS since the 80s and 90s, that work isn't done, because tens of millions of people are still living with HIV globally. The good news is, because of science, there are prevention strategies and treatment options. But their success depends on strong global programs and on acknowledging that the epidemic still exists, which is part of what World AIDS Day is for. It keeps public attention on a crisis that relies on resources and action. So today, despite our president's harmful decision, let's please join the rest of the world in raising awareness and continuing the fight to end AIDS.